Yo, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? I'm 12G's Gaming. If this is your first time being on the channel, welcome. I am Smith, which you may or may not already know. And what are we playing today? We're going to be playing some more Kerbal Space Program. For those of you that don't know, this is part of a build series of showing you how to make certain types of aircraft. Now, if you want to know how to build some of the aircraft and other stuff in this game, go back and watch my Kerbal Space Program for Beginners videos. It will also be in the first video of this playlist. Okay, so last video I showed you how to make a jet. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make something a little bit harder, and that is a VTOL. And for those of you that don't know what a VTOL is a subsect of VSTOL, vertical and or short takeoff and landing. That's the definition of VTOL right there. Anyway, let's get right into it, shall we? Okay, so as normal, we choose a cockpit. Let's for something like this, you're gonna want to use this. The Mark 1 inline cockpit. Okay, next we're gonna go over here to the fuel tanks tab. And by the way, since the mouse isn't caught on camera, all of the tabs are over here on the left. You can kind of see them light up with their name next to them when my mouse goes over them. Okay, so we're going to choose liquid fuel. Mark 1 liquid fuel fuselage is what you need for this. Gonna put one in the back, one in the front. And you should end up with a shape like this. Next, we're going to... I'm trying to remember exactly... Okay, no, wait a minute. We don't need the other liquid fuel just yet. Next, get 2 of the advanced inline stabilizers, or SAS modules, as they're more commonly known. This is the secret to building good VTOLs, in my opinion. And that is to make every single side in that certain direction. Like, for instance, if you're going to make the front one way, make the back the other way. It makes it a lot easier, left and right. What this allows you to do is it allows you to make sure that it is balanced, which is why I recommended using this cockpit over any of the others. So now we're going to go over here to the aerodynamics, and we're going to grab a single nose cone. It's the advanced nose cone type A. And we're going to turn that around. And we're going to stick it right there on the end. Now, why do I not put it right here on the front? It's because we're going to need to put our air intake right there. And I'm going to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, so I'm going to use the adjustable ramp intake radial. And I'm going to also use the shock cone intake. There's the shock cone intake, and I'm going to... By the way, in case if you missed it the last time, and don't worry, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Sometimes this is one of the harder things to find. If you look over here at the bottom left corner, you'll see it light up with my invisible mouse, woo, over it, called circle symmetry count. And if you click on this, it should show like that now. Now I'm going to put it like this, the radial air intakes right there, and now you should end up with a body like this if you're following along. Okay, now we've done everything that we need right here. Now I'm going to show you one of my techniques to building VTOLs. This isn't my only way, but this is the easiest way. You're going to need... Is this the right size? Yeah. You're going to need a cubic octagonal strut. This is the smallest kind you need. Now, make sure symmetry mode is off for this. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try to put it right here in the middle. You can kind of see it sticking out right there. Now, what we're going to do is get it a little bit closer here. Since we're now this close, we can actually critique it a little bit more. You're going to want to try to make it about right here in the middle of the cockpit. It's out of the 5 little panels that you see right here, the one right next to the Kerbal motion, it's right underneath the 1 and mark 1 right underneath the blue part of the cockpit. You want to try to get it right in the middle of that panel. So we're going to move it over to about right there. That's close enough. Okay. Now, this is where those, if you go back and watch some of the other videos, you'll see that this is where these 3 tabs finally come in. Center of mass, center of thrust. We don't actually need this, and if you're wondering why it isn't showing, it's right down there. And center of lift, again, right down there. Right now we need to worry about the center of mass, which is what this big ball is. What you want to try to do is you want to try to match this up with it. Because you'll notice there's like a little green ball that looks very similar to the center of mass. You're going to want to try to match that up. There you go. Now, what is the center of mass? Long story short, it's basically the center weight. This is where the most amount of weight in your aircraft is. If it's towards the front, you're going to put everything towards the front. If it's in the back, vice versa. Okay, now we're going to go over here to engines, and we're going to choose... Let's go with this guy right here. The J404 Panther afterburning turbofan. You can see it right there. I'm gonna guess the wrong way. I'm gonna turn it like this. There you go. You can see the center of thrust right there. The center of thrust is now pointing directly down. Now, what I'm gonna do this time is I'm gonna go up here to these little tabs up here. You can kind of see them up here. It's towards the left. You have the tools. We're going to focus on the move tool. You can just hit it. Now when I click on something, it'll bring up this, and this allows me to move it in certain ways that the game wouldn't allow me to do before. See, that's not exactly in a line, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit the toggle snap over here in the bottom left corner. That will make it smoother, and you can just simply scoot it. Once you got it where you want it, hit it again to turn it back to normal. See, now I don't like how that actually looks, so what we're going to do is we're going to move it up until the engine, for the most part, matches the hull like that. And it moved a little bit in the wrong way, so I'm going to move it back. There we go. Wait a minute, okay. Don't worry, it's nothing. I was just checking something. So about right there. Now, this would usually be all you'd need, but again, there's one more thing we need. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here, and we're going to pick some wings. Now, we're going to choose the wings that you make. So, we're going to get... Is it this one? No, that one's too small. Here it is. You're gonna need the Delta wing. Make sure you have it 2 on this. Now, if this ends up being too big for you, again, match that center of lift right there up as close as you can. If this is a little bit too big for you when you're making this, you can always just go back and change it. Now we're going to grab one of these Delta Deluxe winglets. Make sure symmetry mode is off for this. And we're going to put it just right here in the middle. About right there. Now, again, I'm trying to make sure that I do in fact get this right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hit this Elevon right here, this Elevon 1, telemetry mode on for this. Elevon 1. It should be like this if you got it right. Just fiddle around with the movement keys until you get it. And again, right here on the side. There we go. Now the center of lift is a little bit too far back this time. So we're going to just simply readjust it. There you go. Now this is pretty much all you need for something like just basic. So we're going to call this VTOL YouTube. I spelled that wrong. YouTube. The VTOL YouTube. So we're going to go over here to save. We're going to hit launch. Alright, now let's see how well this does. So we're going to hit T to activate the SAS module. I just rolled over my cord. Okay. My headphone cord was in the floor and I accidentally rolled over it. Okay. So we're going to make sure the throttle is all the way up for this. Well, actually about 3/4 of the way up. We're going to hit space to activate the engine. You can see it smoking. And okay, it looks like we'll have to push it all the way up. And look at that, the engine isn't strong enough. Okay, I'm gonna cut right quick. Alright everyone, I didn't do that much to it, I just made the engine bigger. So let's see how well this one works. Again, about 3/4 of the way up. Now for something like this, this engine should be enough. Definitely enough. Okay, there we go. You can see it kind of contract right there. Now this should sort of slowly bring it up. You can kind of hear it revving up in the background. There we go, turn it up to full blast. There you go, it's taking it directly up. Now kind of turn it down a little bit. So that way it's not just like a rocket. And now what we're going to do is we're going to find our special point, is what I like to call it. It's where it'll just sort of like sit there. Now we're just going to tilt it forward. And make sure it's at full blast when you tilt it forward for this. And just shut it off. And now it's turned into a glider. Really, for a model like this, the engine is just there to keep it off the ground. Like when you start to get a little bit too low, you know. But you fly this like a helicopter. Okay, now I'm not going to attempt to land this because this model is one of the it's a little harder to land, but it's one of the easiest to fly. You can also kind of do a little bit of stunts with it. Oh no, I'm gonna crash. What is going on with these parts? Okay, whatever. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe for more of these how to build videos. And wherever you're watching this from, God bless you. And I hope you're having a good morning, evening, afternoon, or night. And I'll see you again in the next video. Bye everyone.